Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to today's session to learn about the power of LinkedIn and connecting with alumni. My name is Stella Mayer, and I'm the Director of Alumni Relations here at Kane. We have 85,000 alumni all over the world, so as many of you near graduation and begin to think about your careers, these alumni are an excellent resource for you to utilize. They can provide career coaching and advice, job shadowing, mentoring, internships, or even help you get the foot in the door once you decide where you're applying for your first job. The best way for you to connect with these alumni is through LinkedIn. How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Excellent. We're off to a great start. So let's look real quick at what your profile should contain, because we want to make sure everyone has a profile before you actually begin reaching out to alumni. You want to make sure that you have a clean and clear headshot that looks business and professional, not one where you're just hanging out with your friends or like you might have on Facebook. You want to have information about jobs that you've held, including specific tasks and objectives or results that you accomplished in those. You could pull that right from your resume if you'd like. After your job section, there's a space for volunteer experiences. This is a great way to highlight leadership skills that you've learned with your fraternity or sorority, clubs and organizations on campus, athletics, anything that doesn't fit into a paid job category. But this is important for you all to make sure you're emphasizing in your resumes and in your interviews, because you do learn real skills there that people are interested in. Then there's a section for education, where of course you want to talk about the great time that you've had here at Kane and everything that you've learned. And then various skills. So when people are recruiting for jobs, they might look for people with certain skills that you can make sure are listed here and that people agree that you have on your LinkedIn profile. So on LinkedIn, there's sort of 4 different areas. There are people, there are groups, there are companies, and there are universities. What we're going to focus on today is universities, but we'll touch a little bit on the others. The people, of course, are profiles, like the one that you saw here. Groups are places where you can connect with people based on a certain career path or educational connection. So you see here a lot of the different groups that I've been in. I work in higher education, so I've connected to higher ed professionals, alumni and advancement professionals, alumni trending, higher ed jobs. I used to work at Emory. CASE is our professional network. So these are all great groups to belong to, because people start discussions about what's going on. If you have a question about something in your field, you can post it there and get feedback. So of course I want to highlight the Kane University Alumni Association group, which everyone can join. And what we do in the group is share different articles and information that's relevant to your professional and career paths. So the internet's a little slow today, but bear with us. So you'll see we actually have a post here from one of our alums who's talking about contracts and how contracts can be used to protect you. We have some networking tips and some information about upcoming networking nights, and some do's and don'ts about what you might access about in your career search, but HR doesn't. So this is a great place to come to just pick up very career-focused tips, unlike what we post on Facebook, which is more social in nature. So think about jobs. The next category is companies. So we have a Kane University company page. This is where people would go to find out more about the company they're interested in working at. So for example, our gala honoree this year is Joe Sheridan, who works at Wakefern. So let's say that we are interested in talking to Joe and applying for a job at Wakefern. If you type in Wakefern, you see this company that comes up, Wake Food Corporation. And you can click here to learn more about that company. There are almost 3,800 followers that are following Wakefern and learning about what they do. They have some recent updates, and here's Joe right there talking to shareholders about what's going on with Wakefern. So if you're applying for a job, this is a way to come in and get some new information that you might not have found otherwise. So you can look really prepared for that interview, and you could even mention, you know, I just saw this video clip of Mr. Sheridan talking to the shareholders. You know, I had this question about what he was saying, or I thought this was really interesting. You could also see the subsidiaries of Wakefern. So I honestly didn't know what Wakefern did when I first started working here. This tells you that they own ShopRite Supermarkets, Price Right Supermarkets, The Fresh Grocer, and Reddington Farms. So if there's a big company that you're looking at, visiting their company page can help you break that down into more palatable pieces, and again, just help provide you the information that you need to know to ace your job interview. If I was looking for a new job, let's say maybe I'm interested in NYU Stern. I'm going to switch over from Kane and go to the business world. This is not true. That's not happening, Dr. Farahi or Ed, but you know, just for an example. Another thing that you can see on the company page is people you're connected to. So if I was interested in applying to the business school for a new position, you can see that I have 2 first-degree connections there and 149 second-degree connections. So those 2 first-degree connections are people that I'm already connected to that I know that are in my network. And I could reach out and send Scott or Emily a message and say, hey, I'm applying for a job at your office. Do you know the hiring manager? Or would you be able to connect us? If I give you my resume, could you help put it on their desk and make sure that you put in a good word for me? Ruth Stevens is a second connection. I don't know Ruth, I've never met her, but you can click here and see who we have in common, Kevin McCaffrey and Janet Rossback. So if Ruth was the hiring manager for the job that I'm interested in, I could email Kevin and ask him, I'm applying for something with Ruth. Do you know Ruth well? Would you be able to put in a good word for me? Or, let her know that you have a friend who's interested. So that's a part of the company page that when you know who you're applying to, it's a great next step that you can take to help you, again, make those networking connections and make sure your resume is seen. A lot of times when you apply for positions, you're one of 300 people. So these little things can help you, move up in the pile and make sure someone actually reads your materials. Okay. The real focus for today is the university page. This was a new program that LinkedIn launched about a year ago where they're really pushing what universities can emphasize here. For prospective students, you can actually see rankings of universities. You can add universities to a decision board and compare them to one another. You can see where alumni are working from that university. Are people that graduate from this university actually getting jobs and doing well in their career? So that's something on the front end, but you guys have already chosen Kane, you're already here. So let's look at what Kane has on their university page. Again, in the search field, just type in Kane University, and you see again it comes up as a university. There are also people, there are also groups and companies, but we want the university page. And this is the bread and butter, or meat and potatoes of what we're looking at today, is how you can use this to connect with other alumni. Once it loads, you will see that there are over 32,000 alumni that are connected to Kane on LinkedIn. They've said they studied there or they had some connection with the university. And we're able to actually sort those by their class year, by their major, where they work, and other criteria. So we scroll down, you see these are the over 32,000 alumni that I mentioned. You can see where they work, what they do, and we're going to delve into that a little bit further. So again, this is the university page. It also shows you notable alumni, if there are people you want to scroll through and see what are Kane alumni out there doing. But we're going to focus on the search feature. So up at the top here, again, we're on the Kane University page. You're going to click on Students and Alumni. And this is not something we put together. It doesn't depend on how good the data is in our database. It's all self-selected, self-opt-in. People have motivation to update their LinkedIn page because that's where employers look at them and where they find jobs and stay connected. So because they're motivated to do it, this is the most accurate, up-to-date information that we can find. So as this loads, of those 32,000 alumni, we can show more and see where they live and what they're doing. 25,000 are in the New York City area. 201 live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. 69 work at Bank of America. 1,574 are in finance. And then we're able to actually search this set and parse it out. So I am an alum from 2004, and I studied theater. So if I want to see people that attended school around the same time that I did, I started in 2000, people would have finished around 2008. And I want to search the set for theater and see who's working in the theater here. There are 211 alumni that come up that are roughly around my age range or graduation year that are working in theater. We see there are some at Paper Mill Playhouse, some at NBC Universal. And we can scroll down. This actually gives us their LinkedIn profiles. So Jennifer is at the House Operations box office here at Kane. Robin is an MPA, so it doesn't really look like she's working in theater now, but she probably did at some point. Find somebody else interesting here. There were some Paper Mill Playhouse people earlier. Wendy is an artistic director and coach for a dance company. So those might be people that I would want to connect with to talk more about theater, since that was my major if I was looking to get involved in theater in New Jersey on the side after work or in the community. We'll try another search. I also lived in Atlanta before I came up to Union, so we're going to clear this search out. Maybe I want to meet people that are exactly my age. If I was moving back to Atlanta, I don't have that many friends there necessarily. I want to get started. So let's look at people who graduated in 2004 that live in the Atlanta area. Now we have 97 results. You can scroll through and see, here's Susan, who's 04, and Tina, who's 04. Maybe they're going to be my new best friends once I move back to Atlanta, and I can message them and get involved and talk about, are there better parts of the city that they'd like to live in, or how did they, first find social networks once they made their way down there. On the alumni side, we can definitely use this to have different panels and things at work, at here. So If we clear that out, let's look for, we'll get rid of the dates. Now, we're going to do a panel coming up soon for students, and we want to find some CEOs. Our students have great aspirations here. They want to run a company one day. So let's narrow this down to CEOs of companies. There are 232 Kane alumni that are CEOs. And we can scroll down and see again where are they working. CEO at a charter school, CEO and executive director of a prevention network, of Colossal American Bank, that's a pretty good one. Of security, cybersecurity systems, the creative director of an agency, that's advertising and marketing, a founder of an event company. So no matter where you are and what you want to go into, you can find alumni here that are doing that and reach out and connect with them. How about an example from you guys? What's your career path, or what's an area that you're majoring in or interested in? Let's try to find some alumni that could help out.
Computer science, IT.
Okay. So once this reloads, we'll look at what they do and find computer science and IT. We've got information technology. And that's 16,053. Let's narrow it down to people in the New York City area so that you can reach out and connect with them directly. Is there a specific company you have in mind? Or maybe we can type in computer science and see if that narrows it down any. Because 1,200 people is a lot to reach out to. Now we have 404. So if you're interested in doing IT and computer science for AT&T, we can drill into them a little bit as well and scroll down. You will see those exact 8 alumni that are working in IT computer science at AT&T. So Dean is a network engineer at AT&T in New York. You could connect with him and ask if you could come shadow him at work one day, or would he be willing to meet with you for coffee to talk about how he got that position? How about another search? Marketing. So we'll clear out of our computer science query. You see our number of results are jumping back up, but they should go back up to our 23,000 once the internet cooperates. Is there a specific marketing firm you're interested in, or just marketing in general right now? Okay. So we're going to go into the what they do again. Media and communications, probably marketing. No, marketing, here we go. We've got 1,055 alumni in marketing. Merck's a big one just because it's local. We have so many alumni there, they're going to come up in everything. But L'Oreal is a pretty interesting company. Maybe not for you necessarily, but for some people to work at. Johnson & Johnson, IBM, New York Jets. Who do we have at the New York Jets that does marketing? Maybe they can get us some tickets. Events and game day operations intern at New York Jets. I think that we need to connect with her and have an alumni event there. We've got an intern and we have the alum. So how much do you guys think maybe this alum helped make that internship happen? That's a great example of people connecting and opening doors. So let's clear the Jets and look at more general people. We'll stay in our marketing category. Still a lot with 1,055. If you scroll to the right on this, you can then pick some other categories. So we can pick areas that they say what they studied and what they're skilled at. So maybe not only do they do marketing, let's see people who actually studied marketing. That takes it from 1,400 down to 236. And these people are good at marketing, marketing strategy, social media marketing, advertising. Maybe let's look at people that we can actually get to. On LinkedIn, it's hard to message somebody that's way outside of your circle. You get that other, and you have to have their email address. So let's narrow it down to our second connections. These people are one person away. So that's going to give us 19 people that we have one friend between us. So who looks interesting to talk to about marketing? Do we want the VP for communications, the general manager of sales and marketing, director of marketing at Macy's? The VP of communications? Yeah. So we can dive into Perry Richmond here. And we can see the one friend that we have in common. So Danielle Ford is friends with both my profile and Perry's profile. So again, I could reach out to Danielle and ask if she could introduce me to Perry. You could also connect with them and send a message that you're a classmate. You both went to Kane together. And write a little note that you saw their profile on LinkedIn, you're really interested in getting involved in marketing. Would they have time to take a phone call and chat with you about how they got started and what they do? How about one more sample search? And we got kicked out to the beginning, so to remind you on how we get to this, you can either go to education, and then we'll go to your university on the right, or you can type Kane up here. Actually, we'll do that because it's probably going to take me to the university I attended. Universities, Kane, and then we're in alumni and students in this top section that comes up. What's our next search going to be while we're waiting for it to load? What are you interested in? Mm-hmm.
Social services.
Okay. Social work, social services. Okay. So when we do the general search in that tab, that's probably searching their entire profile. They might not be currently working as a social worker, but they have at some point in time. Thought we'd start there versus the drawdown. Because I don't see social work jumping out as one of these. So since that's a little bit, it's probably community and social services. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and we'll narrow again to the New York area. Now, so again, as you're applying for jobs, if you know that you're looking for something at Barnabas Health, Trinitas Hospital, the YWCA, it's great to be able to have someone who's on the ground already. Social outreach community educator, clinical social work intern, staff therapist. You'll see some of these people, we've got 2012, 2013, 2009. They're a little bit younger, but you can look at the class years to find someone who's more seasoned. So we have a psychiatric social worker at a Center for Medical Health, a therapist, social work supervisor, so they might actually have jobs that would have different openings. Social work, we've got another intern. So lots of different options there that you could reach out to and engage with. Okay. So that is the nuts and bones of how to do a LinkedIn search and start connecting with our alumni. Because this is such a new feature of LinkedIn, a lot of people don't know that this is here. Like I said, they only rolled it out about a year or two ago, so it's a whole new way for us to find people and engage with people. And we use it for finding panelists or making these connections. So, excellent place for people to start their job search. Any questions? All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope this was helpful for you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day and be safe in the snow.